May profits be upon you. This is RT Money, and I'm welcoming you back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for spending a couple of minutes of your Saturday with me. I really appreciate that. Do not forget to leave a comment or some feedback on this video. All right. Let's take a look at USDCAD, and we're going to do a little top-down analysis. All right. We're going to start with the weekly, just a peek at the weekly and the daily, just a peek, man, a sneaky peek. All right. What do we want to note? We want to know what is relevant. We don't have to look back and track all this. It came here and went there, went there. We don't have to do all of that. All right. Let's concentrate here. All right. We arrived here with some very bearish momentum. Very bearish. Okay. And this, again, this is the weekly. Each candle represents a week. So it's been bearish for a minute, right? Then we started getting all this, and we got into the war, and then we got things affecting oil and the commodities, which CAD is a commodity-based currency, right? So what do we have? The last 2 weeks, the first thing I want to make note of is the last 2 weeks have been very bearish with a lot of momentum to the downside, all right? Let's also make note that when price turned up here, we had a liquidity point up this way. All right. We had liquidity up here. Price came up here, snatched that liquidity, snatched this liquidity. All right. Pulled back, then made another charge and took out the previous high. Took out the previous high. Also took this one out. These were relative equal highs. Price took that out here. All right. At this point on this time frame, we went bullish. All right. But that's not how we remained. All right. Price then pulled back. Now from here to here, we can expect a pullback, right? If it's going to continue higher. All right. Creating that trend to higher highs, to higher lows, creates a trend, all right? But that's not what happened, all right? After this potential higher low was made, we failed to break the high, all right? What does that mean? What does that mean? That means we got a weak low, right? Because it failed to make a new high. Just check my other videos, you understand what I'm talking about, right? All right, so weak lows are targeted for liquidity. That's why I have that liquidity point here, right? And you see the rejections up here, the exhaustion of this impulse to the upside. So we have the following bearish momentum coming to the markets, and it's heading towards that weak low. Let's go to the daily. Got some information on the daily, right? First thing I want to note is, what is the last break of structure on this time frame? All right, we have major structure like this point here, because you'll see this major point on the higher time frames. What am I doing over there? What am I doing? All right, you'll see this major point on the higher time frames, on the weekly and the monthly, right? And it created a new high. So this is our trading range on the higher time frame. But on this time frame, we were going to make note that we had a high taken out here for liquidity, all right, in a failed attempt to make a new high, all right, which created that weak low. We took liquidity and then started to fall from there, all right, and we broke the low responsible for that high, right? Broke that structural point. So we have a break of structure and we are bearish, all right? And we are heading towards these lows. We are in this demand zone, and you can see we're eating through it, all right? We're eating through it. We're past the 50% mark, the median threshold. Median threshold of the of this order block, right? But I also want you to note too, look at this. we had, you see how price comes up? Sorry. You see how price comes up and we have a pullback? That is a sell to buy. All right. But there is a lot of demand in this, that wick. And we had a reaction to it, pushed up, and then finally came out. So we always mark the reaction, the extreme of the reaction, because if price is to come back up here, this makes for a high probability trade to the downside. Okay. Especially if it's unmitigated, it has not, price has not visited this supply yet. But you want to note that demand lost control to supply here. This is where it flipped. All right. So where are we heading? We have a unmitigated area for demand here on the weekly. I mean on the daily. All right. And if price was to come, if price does make it down here, and I think it will, we can expect some kind of reaction once it gets here. Okay. And we'll monitor that reaction. Now, let's go down to the 4 hour where I live. All right. And we can see how the momentum to the downside was pretty doggone strong, pretty precipitous. All right. And then we got this big thrust right here. All right. The last 2 days of last week, Thursday and Friday, very bearish. All right. Now, when I get a displacement like this, and when it leaves an imbalance like it has, this is inefficient price movement. This is an imbalance. Price likes to come back and rebalance that which is imbalanced. And then I would think, I would expect price to continue with this bearish momentum, right? After every impulse comes what? The correction, right? And then we can continue with the trend. All right, so that's what I'm looking at here. We are in this supply, all right? And we can take a look at how price is reacting here, because we may get a change of character somewhere in this region, in the bottom 50% of this this supply. If we get a change of character, and this is what you want to see, a low broken, the swing high made, and that swing high broken to the upside. You look in this leg of structure for price to come back to and take your entry for a counter trend, and it will be counter trend trade. Right? And but I will mark this area here, this zone, because it is an unmitigated supply. All right. Now we do have this candle going up into this area, but we're going to take a closer look at how it is built on the 15-minute time frame, and maybe we can see a setup for the beginning of next week. All right. Again, what I want you to note. All right. Actually, it might be better to look at it on the 1 hour just to see how things are constructed. Yeah, price did come back up in here. The unmitigated portion of this is up here. All right. And we have a sell to buy up here. We have a little gap up there as well. All right. So this is the area. All right. This is the area I would be looking at right here. All right. This is unmitigated. Price has not visited this area. It could come up here. Sure could. All right. Keep that in mind. It could come up here for sure, because this is where the buying started. This is where the selling started. But you see this action here? You see this action here? I would note this as my as a supply zone, except that it's been mitigated already. All right. And but this portion here has not. All right. So I'm looking at this area. If price is to come back, I would look for a reaction here. All right. We have a nice uh, 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 momentum filled candle here. And there is an imbalance inside of this area between this wick and that, the bottom of the top of this wick and the bottom of that wick. All right. And this is unmitigated as well. So I'm looking for price to come up into this area, this whole area here. You know, I would definitely be looking in this area. Sure. Yeah. All right. So on the 15th, you know, what you want to see here again, like I mentioned, I'm going to leave this. Sorry, I'm going to leave this like this here so we can have some direction. All right, from there, boom. All right, and I can take this out. All right. What I want to see in this area right here, if it happens, all right, is the change of character. A low made, a swing point, a lower low made, and a break of that swing point there, and an entry for the turnaround back up to here, back up to this supply. All right, there's good pips to get in here. There's a nice counter trend if you want to take a buy to take the short, a buy to sell. Okay. All right, but on the lower time frame, this is what I'll be looking for, this pattern here. All right. So that could be just as simple as waiting for this swing point here. Come on, man. Really? You're going to do that? This swing point here to be broken. Right? You know, if this is the low, all right? If it continues lower, then I'll be looking for quite possibly this swing point to be broken, because this will be the high before the after prior to the break. You understand? That's the way this works. All right. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I hope you understand the breakdown. Leave a comment or question if you have a question on this. But the big picture is I'm looking for more bearishness. I'm looking for that low to be taken out for liquidity. I'm hoping that we get a change of character here to where price can come back up and give us an entry. All right, give us an entry on the lower time frame. All right, this whole area, I'm definitely going to be looking at hard. All right, we have a lot of imbalance to fill, and you know, if we catch it right, this could be a pretty good trade, in my view. Yeah, I would look at this whole area. Yep, just like that. All right, so we'll see you in the next video. Check out the two other forecasts that I have on your screen right now for this coming week. And do tap that like button, man, so I can continue to make more videos. All right, I'll see you in the next one.